Where did I go?
Right. Good
Hi.
afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, friends and family. We're so happy and delighted to come back another Sunday afternoon with another special episode. We're always super excited when we could come together as Stetsonians, three past students of St. Elizabeth Technical High School on the same platform. We're always super excited because, one of our goals, we always here to inspire, educate, and motivate. So when we could get someone from you know, our former institution that has a success story like Shericka, it makes us super excited. We're always super excited because, you know, we always, like to, it's just like myself that, whenever I meet other student or other past student, they always say, "Hey, Ian, I remember when you used to run." So now the tables are on my side. I am just so happy to celebrate someone that actually have shined a bright, bright, bright light and still shining. So, guys, I want you to stay tuned, get your water, your tea, because this is going to be a super special episode. You will never find another story like this on a Sunday afternoon. So just stay tuned and tune into Real Talk with Ian and Ian. So before we get into the interview, as usual, we got the health and wellness specialist. He is a former cricketer, high jumper, and he's from the best parish in Jamaica. Also, you know, I know I'm gonna get some bash, but we know that St. Elizabeth is a one of a kind parish all around, not the south, but we talk about the central, we talk about all the way down. So over to you, Ian. Please introduce yourself and tell us what's the word of the day.
Okay, guys, you guys know when we come here, it's all about motivation. So, it's something that I look forward to each and every Sunday to come here on Real Talk with Ian and Ian and our amazing guests that we have bring you guys over the period. We have bring people who are definitely able to inspire, motivate, and educate, and when you come on here, you leave with something that is inspiring. And, for many of us, we all know that life is made up of challenges, but it's also good when you can have someone on who have basically overcome obstacles, and at the end of the day they have a very good story to share with us. So I just want to welcome again all the guests. If this is the first time, we just want to say welcome to Ian and Ian, and for all those followers that have been following over the period, we just want to say we really appreciate you guys for following, sharing, and just liking the page. you know even if you're not from St. Elizabeth Technical High School, we just want to say to you guys, whoever is on here is just definitely here to inspire. So it doesn't matter where you come from, but as a fact that, we're from Steths. So, we basically always mention our alma mater. But this afternoon, I just want to say I could not be more pleased and at the same time proud of this wonderful athletes, Shericka Williams, who have made us all proud, whether you're from Jamaica or you're from America, around the world, wherever you're from, just watching her as she basically stride around the field, it's a beautiful sight to watch. So Shericka, with nothing else, we just want to welcome you to the platform, Real Talk with Ian and Ian. Welcome and thank you.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, guys. So you hear the voice, and now you're gonna hear the story. So as usual, what we like to do, we know how the glory part of the story is, but we like to go back a little bit. We like to rewind because a lot of times we know that the journey has taken a different path, and a lot of the obstacles and your path has actually molded you into the person that you actually are become right now. So we just want to move back a little bit. We just want you just to tell us a little bit about where in St. Elizabeth are you from exactly, and tell us a little bit, where could someone find you? Where exactly? Just tell us where exactly in St. Elizabeth are you from? can't say it any
Uh,
clearer.
I am from a small town in Central called Whitehall. That just before you reach New Market. If you're familiar with New Market and Middle Quarters, it's between Middle Quarters going up to go New Market, and you can drive there to go Montego Bay. Yes, from that. And if you're driving that way, there's a big sign that says Shericka's Drive. So I have my own street.
Oh.
All right. So what's an excellent note for us to start out on? I don't think Whitehall is that small. I think
It is.
Whitehall is very known. We
It is.
know that when you leave mega quarters and you go up that hill,
Hill, yes, definitely.
you know, that's pretty much where you're going to come across Whitehall. And I have the privilege of driving there several times, and I see that nice, bright, big yellow sign says
Yellow,
Shericka Drive.
yellow for
Right.
real.
Yeah. So we definitely always happy for that. But since you're talking about your community, just tell us about tell us life before Steths. What school did you go to before you go to Steths, and tell us a little bit about your early days just running. When did you actually thought about running, and when did you actually, if you could remember to the best of your knowledge, a little bit about your early days in primary school, and what primary school did you go to?
Well, I attended the Giddy Hall All Age School. That's a little bit. I used to walk to school, like 1 mile to school up a hill. And most times in our little school, it was mostly track and field. We had nothing else to do but track and field because you have sports day, then you have DA sports, which comprises of different schools, and then they move on to what is I don't remember what that one is called, and then parish. So I did all of them. So I went on to go to the parish. I represented Elizabeth there from Guinea Hall. Yes, so it was very interesting because everybody wanted to run track at that time.
All right, so from Gideon, how far is Gideon from Whitehall, if you don't mind, I ask you? Is it
One
the same
mile.
Okay, it's the same community. Okay.
No, 1 mile from
What?
Whitehall. From
Oh,
Whitehall, yes, one
all
mile.
right, all right, all right.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about obviously you run at the parish champs, and you pretty sure you was doing well at the parish champ, and I know many coaches have approached you, and talk about you maybe think about attending their school. But tell us a little bit about how did the decision come along for you to go to Steths, if you could remember.
Coming from Whitehall, most of my family members they went to Steths, so that was one of my desire from I was very small to go to Steths. Black River was out of the question, Louisville was out of the question, Lockerbie was out of Hampton was out of the question. It was just to go to Steths. I don't know why. And then I did pass my common entrance to go to Steths, and then at the same time, Mr. Smith, he was the coach of Steths at that time. He always wanted me to come, so it was like really, really good because I really wanted to go to States. I don't know why though.
All right. Well, that's good. We know that there's many schools in the parish of St. Elizabeth, and
Yeah.
we're happy that your highs was on Stet. So you did a great job, and I'm pretty sure your mom and your family, your dad, and everybody is still proud of everything that you have done for Stets and for yourself also. So let's talk a little bit about how was the commute for you now. So you're going to Stets, traveling from Whitehall, going to Santa Cruz. How was that part of it? How was the transition for you as a young girl, just traveling back and forth to school? What were some of the challenges that you faced?
So the challenge is going to school. I had to take two different transportations. I had to take something from Whitehall to Middle Quarters and then something from Middle Quarters to Santa Cruz. It was very challenging at that time. I grew up with my grandmother because my mother had migrated when I was a very young at 3, and my grandmother coming home at night after practice was very. I used to reach home like super late. So she would always say, "You're not going to do track, so I'll just hide and go home late." And I'll get accosted when I reach home, but I'll still do it nevertheless. And it all pays off for the best. But commuting was one of the hardest and roughest time for us because there wasn't anything directly to say, "Oh, we have a straight drive to go home." We have to stand up at the bus stop and wait for hours to get a taxi. It was really not
All
good.
right. All right. So some of the viewers that might be watching, they might not understand. They might be anywhere in the world right now. So typically to get to school at 8:30 in the morning, approximately what time you'd have to leave to get to school on time?
I leave at 7 a.m. in the morning to get to school at 8:30. So like an hour and a half early.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
So we know how the commute is, and I know how the traveling could be because I got some family down in mega quarters.
Oh.
Yeah, I actually got some family. My brother actually from mega quarters. So
Oh, nice.
yeah. You probably know him, or you probably know of him. You probably know of his wife, but we'll talk about that. We might talk about that if it comes up again. All
Okay.
right. Well, I'm gonna take a deep breath and hand you over to Ian. Just to keep it going.
All right, Shericka, again, we just want to say thank you for being here on Ian and Ian Real Talk. And definitely, I have to say it personally, I am proud of you and all of your achievements. All right.
Thank
So,
you.
coming from the beautiful parish of St. Elizabeth, and basically the main area there, Black River area. All right. We know Jamaica is known for tourism and all that stuff. But just for a piece of history, I don't know how much you would know about it, but for our audience, the Jamaica, we hear about Black River being one of the community or parish that first get electricity,
Jamaica. Black
and
River was the
probably
first
in
place
the
to have
country itself.
electricity in the whole Jamaica. Yes.
Yeah, so could you shed some light on that piece of history for us while we're here?
I wish I know more. But I think I wish I know more about it, but that's what I learned growing up that it was one of the first places in Jamaica to have electricity. And I think it was at it's a near to the library. I remember the place there, but I don't remember what it's called. It's a guest house, I think. Yes, I think. I don't remember. Sorry.
Well, I think all of us share that piece of history. I just wanted to see if somebody who's from that side who probably knew more about it. But really and truly, just to bring in a little history here, understand that Black River was actually one of the first place to get electricity. You know that town there. So you know more than I do because you were able to pinpoint this area. Yeah.
I know the exact place. It's like
There
right
you
there.
there you go. There you go. So all right, I'm gonna see if you know anything about another place down there. Um, and the Black River Safari. Um, I know that is like an hour and a half boat ride down there in Black River, where we see some American crocodile endangered species. Where everybody that come that side really want to go to the safari. Have you been to that side?
No.
All
I've
right.
never been. I'm sorry. I've never been, but I don't know if I want to try. I can't swim and I don't want crocodile eat me, so I leave that to the tourists.
All right, you know what? All right, those questions was really to check what I'm just trying to dig in to see what you do on your spare time. So anyway,
That's not something I'll do on my spare time. I'm sorry.
all right, so this is it then. So with that, I'm just gonna ask you straight up, from Saint Elizabeth, can you just tell us, before going into Steths, what was it that really, I know that the coach wanted you there, but if you didn't want to go, then nobody could have gotten you there. Was there any individual that you looked up to at a tender age in terms of athletics and probably going to Steths there?
To be honest, I didn't know too much about athletics until I went actually to UTech. I was just doing it because I could do it, and until I went to UTech, that's when I really understand and know a lot about track and field. The only person I knew about was Merlin, to be honest. Like seriously.
Yeah. Ro- uh, Merlin Atty was a role model for, I would say, basically most of the athletes in our
Everybody.
era.
Yes.
So, all right. So thank you for shedding that light there. Ian, back to you.
All right, thank you. So, Shericka, we're going to talk a little bit about your early days at Steths. As usual, we like to talk about just your Steths days, the early days. I know that the tradition at Steths is ragging. You coming in, as a as a young athlete and freshman, what do you call it, a new student coming in the seventh grade, because you actually went to Stets for 5 years. How was the first week at Stets for you? Did you think about not coming back? Did you have any experience where you was second guessing your decision?
No, never. I mean, for the girls, it's
Yeah.
easier than for the men, for the boys. The boys, they're the one that get wrong. I have to go to the store and say, "Oh, make sure they give you $2 and say, make sure you buy a lunch and this and bring back change." We, as girls, we did not get that. So I think it was a much more enlightening for us, for the women, for the girls to be accessed. I did not have second guess myself. I
Ah,
love sex. Never.
all right. Well, in my experience, we got people that actually went back home after the first 3 days, just from the ragging. You got people that don't come to school the first week at all. You got people that don't eat lunch. I, that's how it is in my days. It was really, but I never really thought about it from a female standpoint. All I could always think about is the male. I can't think of that really seeing a female getting ragging and
Right.
stuff. So
No, never.
yeah.
Mostly the
So
males. Yeah.
okay. So that's a valid point there that you made. All right. Well, all right. So just all right. So let's move along your track and field. So getting to Stets, when you get to Stets, what event were you doing at the time? Just starting out on the track team.
As I started out doing the 100 and 200 because that's what I ran at primary all age school at the national for parish champs. They call it parish champs. Yes, I started out in the 100 and 200. For my first 2 years at champs, I did the 100 and 200.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We actually got a question here that I'm just going to take about. It's pretty much similar, but when started out, how did your coach convince you to start running the 400? This is from another coach. He said, "I coach sprinters, and the toughest thing is to getting the athletes even to try the mid sprints." Uh,
Um, that was a hard question. It started this what Ian, the next Ian, this guy that used to coach that I think he coached the cricket team, Mr. Bennett or something like that his name.
yeah,
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 JB,
Yes,
JB.
maybe.
yes. He's the one that suggested to the system that he should let me run the 400.
Wow.
So
Wow. All
and
right.
then Mr. Smith, he eventually bought into it and said, I should try it. I hated it at first. The training is hard. It's much more harder. And then you used to have this girl training with me at the time, Davita Prendergast. She came from a different school and then she came. And we started training and I was kind of good at it. I wasn't that great. I was good at it. And then he said, okay, gonna run the 4-2 at chance. So that's where it all started.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that was an easy one. I know for me, I don't know how to say it, but I said it over and over. It was a hard thing to get me to run hurdles, or to even to do track. It's from many days of getting a couple whooping.
I did a train on Fridays, that's for sure. Fridays was my day with my friends to go to Santa Cruz and have fun. I did a train on Fridays, and that was a
Ah,
problem.
yeah, I could see where that's a problem, because we know how it is. But I could see where Fridays you want to get home and have a little break, because when you go home
We
for the
don't go
weekend.
home. We don't go home on Fridays. When Santa Cruz town and give trouble.
All right. Well, I thought that it was only me and Steve Powell and those guys that go to Santa Cruz and try to play poker machine and doing those things, slot
You know,
machine and things like. I could talk about it now because at the time, if my parents ever hear that I ever do something like that, and my
Yep,
money,
and training. I was at training when I reached home late. Oh, I was at training. We're coming home so late. I was at training. I couldn't get a taxi to go home.
all right. Well, do you know Mr. Watson?
Was Mr. wasn't there? He wasn't there when I was, but he was. I think when I went at 1990, it was Mr. Muda.
Okay.
Yes, I think so. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, we know so
But I've
many
heard of
people.
him. I've heard of
Okay.
him. I'm happy I wasn't there in his time.
All right. Because I could promise you that if Mr. Watson was there during your time, he would he would have been some call to Mr. Simmons or somebody because he would have. That's one of his it was one of the things that he lived for is to is to patrol the town,
Well,
from
we as ladies, we used to put on a white T-shirt over our uniform, so nobody didn't see our uniform to be exact. So no
all
worries,
right.
we
Well,
had it
I
covered.
I I know all those tricks which I did. I wear a white shirt. I wear a shirt under my uniform, and as soon as I walk, I take that shirt off.
So that's a walk out
But
that gate.
all right. But Mr. Watson be coming through the bush. One of the bush, you got to be looking behind you because he just show up behind you. You see, I can't remember his car that he have, but he drive that car like a bicycle. He drive it up the hill, and he actually will chase you with the car. But you know, but with that said, I am, we all know that during high school, everybody has their, their ways of, being a little bit bad, if you want to put it like that. I didn't think that was bad. I just think that it was just we
Us
grew up with
having
a,
fun,
yeah, 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 because it was a lot of strict rules. And
definitely. Oh my God, it
all
was
right.
crazy.
All right. So we're happy for that. So so you doing the 400 meters at Champs. Let's talk about your journey at Champs. Just tell us a little bit about your best accomplishment at Champs. What can you remember running at Champs? And you know, at the time, did you think that you would have, you know, wanted to continue run? It was something that you like. What was your goal when running at Steths? What was your ultimate goal? What you wanted to achieve then, back then, if you could remember?
My ultimate goal? I didn't have a goal. I was just doing track. To be honest, I was just doing track to not be at home on on weekends. 'Cause, we had track meet every Saturday once it's
Hmm.
January. To not be at home every weekend, and once it's Champs time, you're in Kingston for a week, and that's enjoyable.
All right. All right. Well, that is that I said we all got different journey and different story, and I'm so happy that you're sharing this with us because we know that, you know for a guy like me, the one dream that I've got was to get a scholarship. I didn't care about nothing. I didn't even know
Yes.
about Olympics.
And
I
I
just
didn't know, to be honest, I didn't know about Olympics. I wanted a scholarship to be exact, to be frank. I got a lot of offers, and then, Mr. Francisco would say, oh, if you come to UTech, Sharon, you're going to be like Sharon, because Sharon come one year and made the Olympic team, and you can do the same, because I see your potential. Like, okay, I'm going to try it for 2 years. And it is.
all right, and the rest is history.
The
Well,
rest is history. My first year I did supervision, and the rest was history. So it was
okay.
like,
Well,
yeah.
I was gonna ask you about what was the decision leaving Stets at the time. Just decided to go to MVP because you probably, other than Bridget, and I don't know what year did Bridget actually went to MVP. I know Bridget went to college and was
She went to
training
college
at,
overseas, yeah.
right. But you probably one of the I would say, based on what I know, one of the first athlete to actually from Stets that went to MVP, and you kind of opened the door for many others because they kind of use. I would assume that you was an example for many of the other athletes. Based on your success. I mean, and I think that if I was a recruiter, you will be the first name that I mentioned that, you see Shericka, that she came here and you see what she have done. But tell us a little bit about you're just going to MVP at the time, and at the time, and I said, MVP was, we know that, the club was still young. I mean, it wasn't, producing so many of the superstars like now, so we got over and over and over. But when you get up there to MVP, I mean, what were your thoughts? I mean, when did you actually believe that you really can do this, you know, this track and field thing and take it to the next level? I mean, at what point?
Um, my first year as MVP, I was training for, to be honest, I was training for the 100 and 200 because gonna eventually say, okay, I'm gonna make a train for the sprint. So I was training with my group of spots of Asaf, Sharon, Bridget, and some other sprinters. And then a week before trials, when the entries for trials going a couple of weeks before, he said, okay, put both 200 and 400 on the form. I'm like, why would you want me to do that? And I just follow instruction as always. And the week before trials, a couple days before trials, like, oh, you're not running the 400. I'm like, huh? And I'm like, I didn't even prepare. I did not do no 400 training that year, literally none. I ran 53.5 at champs that year, and I came third. I think yes, third. And then within a couple months, I ran 50.9 at trials with no training, with no 400 background, no 400 training. I hated it, but I made the world championship team to Helsinki at 19,
All right.
and that's where it all began.
All right. Well, that's awesome. Well, we still, I want to revert back a little bit to Steths. I really don't want to, skip so much from Steths, and I know Ian is going to go back to Steths eventually himself. But just tell us a little bit about your best memory at Steths. Just going to Steths. I know for me, I like sitting on the bleacher and hanging out. You know, I used to live in the dorm, by the
Oh.
tuck shop. So I lived
Hmm.
there for many years. For you, what was your best memory? That's something that always gonna remember, stuck out with you.
My best memory is that's the water war at the end of the semester. Water war. And
Okay.
yes, hanging on the bleachers, hopefully no one catches you. And they always have when cricket is play, we always go to the dorm, that's where you all live, and watch cricket and hope they don't catch it either. And going to Miss Ruby, cutting across the the wire fence to go
The
by Miss
wife.
Ruby to buy Miss Ruby food.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, I am telling you, we really got to figure out who you was hanging out with, Shericka, when you was
No,
going to
but
school.
my girls, Alicia, Sabrina,
You,
Candina, we were not so much nice. They said we were the worst bunch at States at the time, but I don't believe that.
oh man,
I
boy,
don't
you
believe
would
that.
you would have fooled me. You look, we would. I'd see you as the most disciplined girl in the
I
world.
am disciplined. I am disciplined. But company at times let you tend to do stuff.
All right, all right, all right, all right. Over to you, Ian.
All right, Shericka. So as Ian said, I'm going back to Steths a little bit. And back to your athletics. And I know St. Elizabeth Technical High School have a very beautiful track there. So I'm gonna be specific. Could you tell us your best memory on the tracks at St. Elizabeth Technical High School? Whether that be sports day or actually I know they had dial stats and all those stuff. Could you take us
Dial,
back to the best memory?
dial sets and Western champs. Western champs are coming home with a lot of medals, like 4 medals, and we're winning everything. And States girls used to win Western champs every single year. So it was crazy. But Niall State and Western Champs, I did not participate in sports day for some reason or another. It was just my thing.
But was there ever just one race? I remember Ian at Steths. I watched a race with Tanya Jarrett. What was a 4x4. They basically got the baton. She was way behind, and she probably catch the field being behind by like 200 meters. Trust me. Did you have a standout like meet there, like one particular race?
I think it was a year this girl, she used to go to Moby High. She called forget her name, and they say, "Oh, she's gonna win, and she's gonna win," and I beat her, and I was like, "Okay, cool." I forget her name.
That's good enough. You weren't concerned about the name, and that's a good thing. You just know she couldn't come at your home and
Yeah,
compete
she's
you.
gonna come and Stetson and beat me now. Mm-mm. And our 4x1 team with me, Vicente, Ingrid, Kaden Plummer, and Tanya. Oh my God, that was off the chain. They could not hold us at Western Champs. And Champs. Well, we came second at Champs, but that's fine.
All right. There you go. And another thing, while you were at Stets, what were your major? Was it like business or the sciences? Which
Business administration. So I do like accounts, POB, whatever that consists of. Business and computing. I did what, 8 subjects? Yeah.
any standout teacher that you want to mention?
Miss Wellington all day, every day. Miss Wellington was our form teacher. That's Mr. Wellington, the current principal wife. She was our
Wow.
form teacher in 10th grade, and we request her back to be our form teacher in 11th grade. And we got her. She was cool. Yeah, Miss Wellington all day, every day.
All right. All right, great. Mrs. Wellington, big up yourself. Another quick question here. Basically, we know, and as I say, behind every strong man or successful man, we have a good lady in our life. But I would say behind every champion athlete, there should are always a good coach or a great coach. Could you just tell us a little bit about your coach at St. Elizabeth Technical High School or your early coaching?
Mr. Elemiah Smith, he was very persistent, driven, always want the best for his athletes. And to be honest, he pushes me a lot, and is the reason why I continue to run track because of him. I remember after my grandmother told me I could not do track anymore, and I started ditching training. So instead of walking to the back, the back gate to go to the bus stop, I start walking to the front gate and walk all the way down to go to the bus stop. So he would just come by. So just before school is over, he will come and stand up by the door like this, waiting for me to exit my classroom so that I can go to training. So, and I eventually didn't listen to my grandmother, I listened to him. So that's where it all begins. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Well,
Yeah. He would come
and
by my door and like, you coming to training today. You're not gonna let this pass. You're coming to training today. And you can't say no to him. There's no way you can say no to Mr. Simmons because if you know Mr. Simmons, you know how he talks.
all right.
All right.
Shericka, I don't know if Ian had asked you the question. Probably I was probably trying to share this on my page, but was unable to. But
Yeah.
everybody's calling you Wire. Wire. Where did that name came from?
So I was super, super small, as I am still small. So they just say, "Oh, you look like a wire." So when we had like Western chats, everybody come and say, "Go wire, wire, go wire, wire." So that name just stick until this day. So it's crazy.
Was it a name that you take on pretty well? 'Cause I know some of us get some nickname that we don't even love it, but did you love that one?
It wasn't here or there. If you ask half of the people who I went to sets with, don't even know my real name. They don't. Everybody in school know me as Wire, like literally. Even the teachers call me Wire. They don't even call me by my real name. So it was like, yeah.
All right. Thank you for sharing that bit of secret. And your favorite hideout, and then I'll turn it back over to Ian at Steths. Your favorite hideout spot. For me, it was the farm.
I hate the farm. Used to go to. I hate the farm. Used to get farm. We used to go agriculture class. And I have to pick chicken. I have one chicken foot in my hands for the whole class. So nice to there. No, I hate the farm. My favorite hideout spot. Mm, I didn't have a hideout spot. Mm. Most of it hang out on the beaches and that's it. Yeah.
All right. Back to you, Ian. Thank you very much.
All right. So we want to give a big shout out. You know that you could let a couple secret out the bag now. I know Mr. Wellington is on here. We got Bridget Foster. I'm happy to hear to actually Bridget, I'm giving you a shout out. I haven't seen you or talked to you in a while, but I'm always proud of you. So, we proud of everything, all you're representing St. Elizabeth and Steths, so you always got to give that double shout out, Not all of us come from
Definitely.
not all of us come from St. Elizabeth, but we know that we got to give a big shout out because just coming to St. Elizabeth and meeting all of the families and friends at St. Elizabeth, it has meant so much to me. So up to today, it's most of my friends are just past students. So we're always happy, and I'm always proud. It's my home. Steths is my home. That's where I grew up. So the field, everything is my backyard, my side yard. So I have a lot of memories that I always gonna remember. So just to said, I said a shout out to all the viewers, and if you have any question for Wire, please type it in the comment. Yeah, please type it. We'll make sure that if you have a question you'll love to put it on, I'll make sure your question is answered. So let's move along to back to Mr. Smith. What's the best advice you have received from Mr. Eldermeyer Smith as a coach?
Just always try to do your best no matter what. Once you train hard and put in the work, the results will come. So yeah.
All right, all right. Thanks for that. All right, let's continue. So going to Steths, just tell us what did you learn? What did you take from Steths on to your life after Steths? What one thing that you actually learned from Steths? What type of friendship and memories, or what type of life lessons that you could say, Steths helped me to become the person that I am today?
As our motto, I say work and integrity.
All
Always
right.
try to be the best version of yourself no matter what you do. So yeah, my life lesson is that I keep all my friends from sex no matter I, I keep all of them. So my friends from sex big up on themselves and themselves. So I still keep all of them as close friends. Yeah, so yeah,
All
work
right.
and integrity forever.
All right. Well, that's awesome. I know that we're gonna have a reunion, another reunion
Definitely.
coming. All right. We know we're gonna have a reunion, and I know we will hear the information, the 60th reunion coming up. So
Oh,
we're definitely looking to get all generation involved. We want all the way from the 60s, to the class of 2022 or 21, whatever year. We want all generation to be a
that would be
part of this.
awesome.
All right.
That would be
And
great.
we probably would love to see you, run one more 400 on the track. you know so tell us, how much exercise are you doing these days? Are you just enjoying retirement?
I haven't
uh,
exercised in like a year. I don't like exercising.
all right, well, we
But my
definitely
friend is
on.
pushing me. My friend Kaden is pushing me to do workout sessions. So I'll keep that in mind. So I might be doing some boot camp for the summer here in New York. So I don't know. Think
Okay,
about it.
okay.
She
Well,
wants to lose weight and want me to join her, and I don't need to lose weight, but I'll go for the fun.
all right. Well, take your time. You know that you have put so many miles,
I
around
know. Around
around
the
the track.
track. No
Yeah,
need to
so
rush.
no need to rush because but we always believe that life always come back in a circle. So when the time come, when the right moment come, I'm pretty sure that you will be ready. All right, so
Definitely.
I want to talk a little bit about um, MVP. I'm gonna move along. I know that Stephen Francis is one of the best coach in the world, and he's continued to produce many athletes and to today's date. So what was the difference for you, just going from coaching with Eldemeyer Smith? What were some of the hardest thing for you to do in terms of training, or what was the most challenging thing for you being a high schooler to turn a collegiate runner?
Waking up at 5 a.m. to go to training and training twice per day. We only used to once per day. Going in that gym. And the first year was that I could not bench. The first year I was at UTech. I could not even bench press the bar. The bar is what, 45 pounds? I was that
Yeah.
weak. Yes, I was that
Wow.
weak. I think I end that season bench pressing 60 pound, one rep. That's bad.
All right. Well, we know how that is. That we didn't have weights at Steths.
Never.
Um, at the time, I never, I think we used to have a little machine that would do a little bench press,
Just
but
a little bench press some and step up and stuff, but it wasn't a
yeah.
lot.
All
And
right.
when you go to gym, we never normally do nothing, just sit down and talk anyway. So it was like,
So we know, when it comes down to doing the hills and steps,
oh,
and all
those
that.
hills and steps, they are the worst.
All right. So yeah, so definitely. All right. So what can you tell us? What is the best advice that you received from Coach Francis?
There's a lot, but I mean, Coach Francis was very to the point. Just go do it. Most times, most times he doesn't even say nothing. He say, you know what to do. You already do it in practice, so just go there and do what they gotta do. Yeah. So most they have to just say, okay, I got this. Yeah. But he always say, just go there and do your best, no matter what. And he's not a man of many words, as you all can know, as you all know. So most time he doesn't really give you a lot of advice, but you know what to do, so just go there and do it. Yeah. But he always say, you can do it. You can do it. I know you can run X time, and then you can run this time. Just go there and do it. Yeah. So
All right. Awesome.
yeah.
So tell us, as a junior athlete, did you actually try it out for the Carifta team or anything like that? Are you represent Jamaica as a junior?
Unfortunately, I did not represent Jamaica as a junior. In my year at high school, there was a lot of good athletes. Anisha McLaughlin, I was always coming second to her, third. And you had Simone Facey, you had some other girls from Veer Technical, I had a little girl. This was one girl from Edwin Allen too. There was so many. It was hard for me, so I did not make it. And that time it was by group. I think it was two groups, yeah, under 18 and under 16, under 15 or something like that. Yeah,
All right.
yeah. So it was difficult, but I did not. But nothing to be stressed about.
All right. No, because I mean, when we talk about three Olympic medals, that at the highest level. So Carifter, I mean, it's always good. But the reason why I asked that question because we know sometimes it's not how you started out. You got a lot of athletes that did good in Carifter that never win a medal. You got athletes that are late bloomer like yourself, that was able to go on and win three medals. So it's no one way of getting to the formula, but I'm always curious to figure out like representing Jamaica for the first time. So I was just trying to figure out, the first time you represent Jamaica, if you could bring us back a little bit and bring us back and tell us when was that and how was your first experience.
The first time was in World Championship 2005 in Helsinki. That experience, it was great. It was mixed. It was cold. It was raining, but I was just happy to be there. And I made it to the semifinals, and we came home with a 4x4 silver. So it was great. As my first meet, yeah, run against the big experienced girls, ladies. It was awesome. But I don't like the weather. Cold, raining all day, all night. I remember when Bridget, and when they had the 100-meter hurdles final, it was pouring rain and it was cold. Yeah, so it wasn't a good experience, not at all, for the weather.
Yeah, well, typically we all know in track and field that the weather affect everyone that's going to
Yes,
run. So, it just, at the time, it's just who is going to deal with the situation better,
and if you're not used to it, it will affect you if you're not used to it. And I wasn't used to that cold weather. I'm from Jamaica. I still hate the cold.
all right, all right, all right. All right, so we're going to move along. I got a question for you here that we could put on the screen. I know that this might be a little bit early for this question, but Mr. Donovan guy, he's asking, what are you going to do for the next generation? Uh, I
if
know
the
you're
next
just relaxing right now, but
if
you
the
know,
next generation need my help, I will help them. Just shout me out on Instagram, Shericka Williams, or on Facebook. And what help you need or inspiration, I'm here. I'm open.
uh, yep, yep, yep. All right. Well, we know how it is in Europe. It's a lot of different nice places. You got sometime it's warm, and in Italy there's a many place that's warm. We know in Monaco is beautiful. Sometime in Switzerland it could be cool, it could be warm.
Well, yeah.
So it's just different. So just to talk a little bit about that part of your career, what countries were you most excited to run in away from Jamaica just over the years this traveling?
I love China. I think before going to Beijing, we had those meets in Shanghai. Those were nice. Yes, those were excited. I love China. I love competing in Europe, to be honest. Australia, very nice, very beautiful people there, very welcoming. Yes. And Italy is my home away from home. Big up Marco, Mama, Papa. I love Italy.
All right. Did you actually learn a few words of Italian just being over in Italy? Can you say
just a
something in Italian?
just a basic. Ciao.
Okay, okay, okay.
Just a basic. Buongiorno. Just a basic. Yes.
All right, guys. They hear from the Stetsonian. We didn't learn. The only language we learned at Stets was Spanish.
Yes.
And
And
Mr. Wellington could say, I don't know if they're doing any other language right now, if they're doing French or I know that language has grown, things have changed, but I didn't go to Spanish class. Miss Senorita Chong. I was like, I was like, that was a mistake. I
that
regretted
was
it.
my mistake. I regretted not doing Spanish. I regret not doing Spanish too. I was like, next time, as if I would give advice to any athletes or people, no, at least two languages. Try learn
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
I think I'm gonna learn Spanish though.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's so important because you don't know where life gonna bring you. And at the
yeah,
time, I just thinking about this little box at Stets. I'm like, why would we need to learn Spanish in Jamaica?
yes, that's
you
true.
know. But when I went to college, boy, I have to learn the basics again. It was so hard. So I
Yeah,
regret it. I didn't learn it at Stets. I have to learn it all over. So
yeah.
that was my amen moment.
The good thing about stats is stats expose you. Once you're in ninth grade, you're exposed to everything. So you choose what you want to do going moving forward. And I did not choose Spanish. Once Spanish was in that class, I did not choose it.
All right. All right. All right. All right. So, all right. I'll take a break and put you back over to Ian Thomas.
All right, Shericka. So you mentioned getting up for 5 o'clock early in the morning. So what I really want to know is what motivates you to get up at that time and keep doing it over and over.
It wasn't a motivation, just something you know you had to do, so you just do it. And then to have people in front of you like Bridget, she's always early, no matter what. She's like early, training hard, and see, oh, she was before you, so you know she was at the World Championship, she was at the Olympics. You say, okay, I want to be like her. You have like Asafa at the time, he was doing well. And so you had a good group. Sharon was there too. She had just won the Olympic gold medal. So you know you have people before you trying to you want to be like them or be at their level. So that's one of the things. I You didn't have a choice, to be honest. You didn't have a choice. So yeah.
All right. So while you were doing all those hard training, did you ever see yourself competing at all these Olympics, taking home all these medals? What was it in the vision? Or are you just going with the motion?
I will just go with the motion. To be honest, I don't think I ever think about going to the Olympics. Maybe at the Olympic year, maybe in that moment. I didn't even know what the Olympics was like, literally, like what to expect. Oh, you have trials, they made the Olympic team. What else? Oh, it's like World Championship. Nothing like World Championship. It's much different. So yeah, it was like in the moment thing, having fun at the same time while training, going to classes and just having some fun. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I know you basically should know much about UTech, you know. Could could you basically tell us something that stand out about this noble institution, UTech? We know that UTech produce some strong athlete, even if you just go over there to train. Because just as you mentioned, you know, you're gonna go again among a group of athletes who are highly motivated, dedicated, and disciplined. So you could
Very
you tell us anything
disciplined.
that stand out about this noble institution, UTech?
Their training ethic, no matter no matter how much we party a night before, we know definitely we have to go to training the next morning. You're never tired to go to training. I remember we used to come from party and go straight into training, just change your clothes and go straight to training. And you train hard, like you slept all night. It was one of those things. It was crazy, but it was fun. Yeah, it was fun.
Okay, thank you very much. And another quick question here is basically because I see, you know, you are just going through the motion. If you ask me, just enjoying your sport, doing what you're doing, having fun. But this World Championship in Helsinki, just tell us what that meant to you, putting on the Jamaican colors and say, hey, I'm really representing my country.
It meant a lot. I mean, at that time, I was young, just coming out of high school. I was very proud. I'm like, oh, my first championship. Yeah. I was very proud. I mean, it was awesome. I guess.
All right. So with that awesome feelings, could you tell us how well that was received in your community and among your peers?
Um, I think well. I don't remember that was years ago. I think yeah, I think very well. I think everybody was looking forward to see me run on TV. So yeah, guess. Oh, I saw you on TV. Yeah.
Thank you, thank you. Back to you there, Ian.
All right, awesome. So, we're going to talk a little bit about your track career. I know that, we sometime has a little regret sometime about certain things that, we may do. Was there any regrets that you could think of that, you wish you could have done a little bit different, do in your track career?
Not a regret. I don't regret anything because, in life, everything happens for a reason. And I regret everything is I learned experience. And if you can't learn all your mistakes or whatever you didn't do right, then you're not learning. So, not really a regret. But I mean, I think I could have in the past pay more attention to my eating habits. I don't eat and I don't eat nothing healthy.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was one of my coach and I biggest problem. I don't eat healthy force me to eat, and I don't eat healthy. Everything I don't eat this, I don't eat that, I don't eat vegetables, I don't eat fruit, I don't eat this. So I think I should have paid more attention to my nutrition part of my career.
Okay, excellent, excellent.
Yeah,
And obviously we know nutrition is very important,
yeah,
to
very.
someone. So based on that, what advice would you give to a young athlete right now listening to this program that may be saying, hey, look, Shericka, she didn't eat that and she won a medal, but we want to hear from you. What advice would you give to a young athlete that about nutrition?
I cannot give an advice, but you have to know your body. I was that type of person I could eat anything and get away with it. Some people can't eat anything and get away with it. I'll eat a bucket of ice cream and don't put on 1 ounce of weight. You can't do it because you might eat it and put on 10 pounds. You have to know your body, know what work for you and what don't work for you. That's it. Yeah.
All right, all right. So pretty much like many athletes like myself, I didn't have a particular diet. I feel like because I was running and doing all this stuff, I should be able to eat. So but as the time get older, you get older and you realize that it's important to have a balanced diet, get your fruits and vegetable, and all that stuff. So we happy for that. So on the track, this just question from me, as always. It's always from me. But what were your favorite lane on the track? What if you were supposed to pick a lane to run out of? What would that be if it was your choice?
I think 4 or 5. I don't like 6 because 6 is like too far up. I 3 like too way back. So I think 4 and 5 was my favorite. Yeah.
All right, lane four. So just looking back at yourself, what type of runner do you think you were? Do you think you were running more of a speed or strength? What do you focus on that help you to get better with your time?
I think I was a speed runner because my 200 speed was excellent, my 100 meter speed was, and my 300 speed was excellent. I did not run a good 800. I was very bad at it. So I think I was a speed runner. Yes.
All
And
right.
I run my races like I'm a speed runner because I tend to jog the first 200, not bit too slowly.
All right. All right. Well, we know that you pretty much run from the 100 all the way up to the 800. Based on what you do to get prepared for the 400. You got to do some over distance. I know you probably don't like the 800, and you prefer to work run a 100 than an 800, but you
Definitely.
have done it. I saw the results that you have actually run a couple 800
I run a couple
in
800.
the
I
past.
tried
All right,
my best.
all
Yeah.
right, okay, all right. So in your world, how do you celebrate a good performance? Just pretty much, you winning a medal at the Olympics. What? How do you celebrate that other than eating ice cream?
After the Olympics, they have so much races left. There's no way to celebrate. But my birthday is normally at the end of the season, in the middle of September. So normally I just get myself nice or go on a nice vacation. Yes.
All right, awesome. So basically you celebrate. You choose a date later on to just
Later
celebrate.
on. Yeah,
All
because
right.
after the Olympics, they have like 5 or 6 meets left or more
Okay.
sometimes. So yeah, you still have to focus on running races as much as you want to go home, but you still have to stay in Europe and train and run, compete same way. So yeah,
All
there's no
right.
celebration there.
All right. Awesome. All right. So I want to move along to a little bit of the workouts. I know that, as I said, you get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. and
You
you
reach
get to
train at
track.
5. You reach train at 5. You'll get up at 4:30.
Oh, okay. Well, I know some people got to eat breakfast, so so training that early in the morning. You don't eat breakfast so soon, right?
No, get up and go train. The train you eat and
Oh,
sleep.
okay. Okay. All right. So tell us now. A lot of people might not know, but you could tell us now. What's your favorite workout and what's your least favorite workouts?
My favorite workouts are 300, 250, 150s. My hit 500 workout and 600 workout. You don't know how to pace those workouts. I think I don't like 500 and 600 workouts. Yeah, but anything 300, 250, 200, 150, 60. We used to get a lot of 60 meters. So those were fun workouts.
All right, awesome. All right. So just keep it going along. I get another question in terms of your, just to you as a person, just trying to know you. So just for you, who are some of the athletes? I know that you have said that Bridget, you have draw inspiration from Bridget, but somewhere along the line, who were some of your role models once you got on the professional circuit? What were some of your athletes? Give me a male and a female athletes that that you could say that you really have a lot of admiration from.
Wow, I never think of that one. To be honest, I never think of that one. I talk to people, but look up to them. I don't know. Hmm.
Okay.
I admire their running style or something like that, but I don't know if I would say look up to them. I don't know.
Okay. All right. Well, tell me somebody that inspire you off the track. Um, that give you that drive. What inspire you? Tell me someone that motivate that inspire you to, that always encourage you that you want to give a shout out to.
The person who used to encourage me the most, she passed away, was my cousin, Marsha. No matter what, she would just send me some text and like, "Oh, you can do this." She used to write in patois. I can't read patois. So like, what? I have to like look at that text a million times to figure out what she's saying, but it was encouraging. But unfortunately, she had to pass away. She was very young too, so yeah, miss her dearly though. Yeah,
All right. Well, our condolences
yeah.
for
Always
her.
look forward to her texts before I go run a race. She always send me a text before I go run. Like it's crazy. Yeah.
All right. All right. My final question before I go over to Ian. So just talk a little bit about how did you deal with pressure? Some of the pressure that, just if you did face any pressure. I mean, sometimes your pressure is not necessarily to win medal. We know sometimes we all have goals for ourselves, So after winning the medals in 2008, how did you feel about like the 2009 season? I mean, about meeting expectation and dealing with just the pressure that comes with, winning a medal.
So after 2008, 2009 was kind of easier for me. I think. For me, I don't put myself under pressure, so whatever people say or whatever they're trying to assume I should do, I don't let that affect me in any way, any form or shape. And at the beginning of 2009, I think I was doing well, and that transition goes straight into the World Championship and after the World Championship finishes. So wasn't a lot of pressure. If I wasn't doing well then, I think there where the pressure would come from. But I think I was doing pretty well for that whole season. Yes, I did pretty well for that whole season. Yeah. I ran
All
a
right.
fast time for that season too. Yeah. Was one of my best years.
All right. All right. We got a couple questions here, but I'm gonna put you over to Ian. If you want to take a couple of the questions on in the comments, you can.
All right, Shericka. So, how should I say wire? Because everybody coming on here, wire, wire. You know, either it's the
Oh, I
wire
don't
we
say
spell
what.
it, well, whether they spell it WIRE or WIYA, we know
YA,
it's wire.
WIYA, WIYA.
All right. So, so guess what? Wire? The burning question, that is coming. from the audience is that they're saying that looking back at your career, is there anything that you would have done different, given the chance probably to go back?
No, I think I have a very good career, fruitful, also experience. Yes, maybe a one or two things in terms of race strategy. I think, hold on. I think I did not execute my races properly. Majority of them, I did the only race I executed properly was my Beijing 2000, my Berlin race 2009, where I ran 49:32. I run the first two. That's the first time I ran the first 200 at a decent pace. Every other race, I ran my first 200 super, super slow and tried to come home. So maybe that's the only thing I will change. But otherwise, nah.
All right. There's another question I'm not gonna get into, but before that, I just want to hear this one. How do you prepare yourself for a big race? So you know you have a big race coming up. How do you basically prepare yourself, whether that from a mental standpoint or physical standpoint?
Mentally, I have a race night before. I normally do things the night before. You do your mental breakthrough, you do your visualization, you practice your deep breathing and stuff like that. Physically, whatever coach gives to you, just try not to exert yourself too much in training, and that's about it.
All right.
And try
In the
sleep
meantime,
if you can sleep. Half the time you can sleep for a big race, so that don't really affect me.
all right. As I look up for another question, I just want to ask you though, as an athlete, were you like ever nervous when you hit the track line up there with and how do you deal with that?
All the time, even warm up. Sometimes just like for me, how I deal with my nervousness. Our Coach Francis used to give us used to give us mental training on how to deal with nervousness and how to breathe. So just go and take a deep breath in, hold it, and out, get your muscles relaxed, and do that a couple of times when I'm in the blocks. I just say, okay, I put my one foot back, deep breath, and just continue breathing until that gun goes, just to let your muscles stay relaxed. Yeah.
All right. Does this truly work? I know sometimes the people can talk to you as much as possible, but when you go out there, the nerves still come. But
Yeah, it's about how you control it. So you have to know how to control it. So for me, I feel nervous. I'm like, sometimes I'm so nervous I don't even know which foot go in what part of the blocks. I remember one time I was running this 400 in London and I could never set my blocks. I don't even think I used that block that day. And I ran a PV that day. I was so nervous that I could not even set my blocks. But once you go, it's like you forget about it. Yeah. So sometimes stuff happens, like you can't control it. But over the years, you learn how to control it and how to prepare for it. So, but as you go more, like for example, when I'm in a big championship, I don't take it as a big championship. I take it as another race. Number one is the same person you're running with on the circuit. You know what to place on the circuit running with them. You know how you train. Just go there and do it. It's just another race. To me, it's just another race. You don't say, oh, it's the Olympics final. What's going to happen? It's the same person in the Olympic final that you run with for the whole 3 months building up to the Olympics. So, yeah, just a mental state that you're going the race with and how you put and what you put in your head at the time.
all right, great. All right. So with that, I just gonna ask you this question here. As an athlete, what would you consider to be your strength?
In terms of my race.
You know, whether your race or just your work attitude,
My strength is, I think, is my motivation. So I have my self motivation. I self motivate myself to do whatever I choose to do. If I choose to be a farmer, I can go be the best farmer there is. So I think whatever I self motivate myself to be the best of whatever I can be. So I think that's my strength, self motivation.
All right, so I'm gonna throw across a quick question here. You should be able to read it from Hudson here. So look at this question and tell me if you're able to read it, and then I'll ask another one to follow up with this.
No, I'm not seeing anything.
All right, so what he said here is that jogging of the first 200-meter cost the gold on 2 occasions at the top level, Beijing and at
Os-
Osaka.
Osaka.
Osaka. So, which
Osaka. He's for Osaka. I think he's talking about Novlin because Novlin came third in the 400. Yes, I missed the 400 finals in Osaka by 100th of a second. And for the Beijing, the Beijing, it was a crazy Olympics to be honest. I had a different race time than what coach had for me. And then just before my race, he said something to me. Like it just shows me off so much. It was kind of ridiculous. But at the end of the day, I still try to catch myself. I think I came off that turn like seventh place in the 100 in the final of that in Beijing. Yes, I did not run that at first 300 of that race, to be honest. Yeah, yeah, it did cost me a lot.
all right.
Yeah.
So with that, I was gonna ask the next question to just tell us your what you believe to be your worst race running. That it probably stand out to you. You probably know you had more in the tank and you did go out when you're supposed to go out. But could you just tell us your worst race? Because for us, we could think that was it, but you could have had another race that you think your worst race.
I think that Olympics finals in Beijing. I think it was one of my worst races. Although I ran a PB, I ran extremely well, but execution it was poor, very very poor. Yes, I think that was my worst race.
All right, Stefan here has a quick question for you. He said, out of all the countries you have visited, which would you migrate to if you had the opportunity?
um, maybe Italy. I love
Why
Italy.
Italy? We're not gonna just separate that Italy.
Because that's where I spend most of my time. Like that's where our training group was, our training base was in Italy, and I think it had grown on me. I think, yeah. But I love Australia though. Australia was nice, but it's like too far out of check. Yeah, but Australia and Italy, I think.
All right. Before I turn you over to Ian, I'm gonna deviate from the athletic just a little bit. So, say we were supposed to take out athletic. If you didn't do track and field, what would you be doing?
Interesting question, and I have no answer for that. I have no answer where like answer for that. Where would life take me? I don't know. Whatever. Uh,
I know you said you did business at Steths, but all right. So I'm gonna corner you right here still. So this may be an early question,
mhm,
but what do
mhm.
you see yourself doing in while you're in retirement here? What do you have to give back? I know earlier somebody asked that question. So what do you see yourself doing in the future? What are you currently doing?
Um, Partly working in the business sector. So yes, I'm planning on maybe branching out in the coaching world if my heart still desires for it. So maybe not for monetary gain, but for there are a lot of persons who just need direction, who just need motivation, and try to see if I can help them motivate them in whatever way or aspect I can give back my knowledge to them, whatever I have learned, whatever I have accomplished to help them to accomplish whatever they want to accomplish. So I think I can do that. I'm working towards it, but nothing on paper is it in my head.
Well, personally, I believe that anything you set out to do, you can do it because it seems like you have taken track and field to the top, and you basically, I don't think you had put the amount of energy you could put in it because you're just having fun. You know, just going along. So I think if you put your mind to anything, you can achieve it. So we're looking forward to see what the future holds. And with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Ian.
All right, thank you. So again, we just want to shout out all the viewers right now. Thank you for all the comments and thank you for all the questions, the suggestion. Our goal is to just to educate and motivate anyone that might watch this program today, next week, or next year. So we hope that we are able to do that to the best of our ability. So, Shericka, I want to talk a little bit about a couple of these 4x4 relays. We know that you have won medals in two Olympics, 2008 and 2012, and you have run in many, many 4x4 teams for Jamaica. I mean, the list goes on. So I don't want to get too single out, but what's what one, bring me back to one of the 4x4 relay that you ran that was the most happiest, that you were most proud of.
I think when we ran the national record in Daegu, I wasn't in the best of form, but I still got there and did my best. That's Daegu, right?
Um,
I think
I
so.
can't remember. I can't remember. I don't know when you guys won the national record. I
I
could
think
look
it
that
was
up.
in Daegu. Yes, I think it was in Daegu
I
with
could look at it.
Danica, Prendikas, Novlin. What was actually? I think it was. Yeah.
All right. And on the 4x4, what leg was you think is your best leg that you think you enjoy running the most?
For the past, I think for a couple of years or a couple of championships around the first leg, I thought I was good at it. Yeah, because I remember in Osaka, in Helsinki I ran the first leg, in Osaka I ran the first leg, and where I ran this, I think yes, in Daegu I ran the first leg or the third leg. I think it's the third. I don't know, but I think I'm best at the first leg. Get the way and done. I don't like anchor. I think second leg is the hardest, and anchoring is the most nerve wracking.
Okay. All right. So you running an individual event on a 4x4. I mean, what's the approach typically to running the relay to running the open four? I mean, is there any strategic thing that you do to help the team out? I know that running a relay, it takes a lot of. It depends on what leg you're running, but sometimes you have to run much faster than you would want to because you're trying to help the team out. But my question is, what typically your strategic mindset running the relay?
The relay comes after your open event. So basically, is you gotta give your all, so you don't have anything to hold back for, because you already done your individual race. So let's go out there and say, okay, medals are out there to grab, so you gotta go out there and just grab some, no matter what color it is. It's out there. So it's up to we as a team, as an individual, to go out there just do our best. So we just try to motivate each other and say, okay, we're going up there for a medal. Hopefully it's the goal.
All
Unfortunately, gold
right.
didn't come. So, but we got a lot of silver.
So you won three Olympic medals. Now, do you how do you keep your medals? Do you keep them on display or you keep them in a safe? I know some people, it's like me. I like to see every single medal that I win. I keep every single one on display. But I know that some people like to keep them in a safe. But some people gave them as gift. What's the plans for your medals if you want to share with us?
My plans for them is to
No,
put them
yeah.
in a
Where do you keep them? Yeah, yeah.
in a
What's what?
safe. They're in a
Okay.
box. They're in a box right now. All my trophies are in a box because I had moved them from a particular place and put a bar there. So I need to figure out a place in the house to put them now. So they're in a box. But the two that we got upgraded, we got upgraded from a bronze to a silver in 2019. I think those two are somewhere on my dresser. I think somewhere. I don't know.
All right, all
It's
right.
bad, I know. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna put them up for
Okay.
display, hopefully
All right.
one day.
Yeah. We was hoping we could have seen one, but we're not going to be able to do that.
I'm not at home. Those they are in Jamaica. I'm in New York
Okay.
at the moment, so they're
Okay.
like in Jamaica. I'm not at home. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But if I
Okay.
was, definitely.
Okay. Okay. All right. So I'm going to take a question here from one of the viewers, and it's from O'Shane. He said, "Do you think you retired too early, or was it injuries that forced you, or was it loss of motivation?"
That's a lot of question. Unfortunately, I had a very good career, injury-free career. I remember the only time I had as a cramp was in 2009, just before the World. I was like early. It was February, I think. Yeah, it was about February, and that's about it. And I cried, and it wasn't nothing big. I was back in training in a week.
Okay.
It was. I think at the end of the day, you should know when to walk away, and you cannot let your not so good performance outshine your performance that you have done. And I wasn't performing at optical level, and I think it was just time to go.
Okay. Can you remind us when exactly did you retire, and were there any, were there any moment that you missed running since you retired? Retirement is not easy. I mean, I'm saying that when you run for so long and you love something, it's sometimes, even though you got to let it go, but sometimes it's not as easy, um, to really let something go that you really love, even though you know that the time has come. You know.
Um, I think I suffered in 2016. Yes, 2016. I was trained and it was just wasn't going the way I planned it. I'm like, okay, I gotta go. That was it. And that was it. And then do I ever I don't regret I don't miss I don't miss the training. I miss the traveling and competing. If I could travel and compete without training, definitely. But I don't miss the training and I don't really regret not doing that. I enjoy staying home. As my friends will say, why you like to stay home that much? I'm like, I'm just so used to being up and about. Staying home was like the new norm.
All right. All right. So this is another fun question for me personally. How fast you think that you could run? We know that you ran 49:32, but just looking back, how fast you really think that if you have run the perfect race that you think you could execute, how fast you think you could run?
Based off my training and my time trials, especially my 300 time trials, I remember one day I ran 35 low back to back, 20 minutes break. And friend was like, you have to run 48. And I think I should have run 48, and I did not run it. I should have even run 49.0 or 49.1. I should have break the national record, but it just did not happen. So can't
All
complain.
right. Well, no worries. I personally believe too that you have all the potential and what it takes to run under 49 seconds.
Yeah, I do.
So I am pretty sure I'm not the only one that would say that.
Yeah,
Based
yeah,
on
but based on my training, I should have, to be honest. I should have.
all right, all right. So I want to ask you one question in regarding to the. I know that it got to be a privilege to be featured and honored back at Steths. I know that you and Bridget Foster was, and probably a few other athletes, but I know that at the time, I remember that you and Bridget was, invited down by Mr. Keith Wellington, after the Olympics or one of the championship. Going back at Steths, what did you think about Steths after leaving Steths and going back to city campus? Were you impressed with what impressed you the most about the school when you went back there?
The school was so clean, not what I'm used to, not what I'm used to, the writing on the wall. Why I was here from 1999 to 2004 at every desk on every wall and everything. They, those students, they were so disciplined. They didn't talk during devotion. They clap,
Mm,
they stop. Everybody
mm.
was like, I'm like, wow, that was never us. We used to talk. Yeah, that was like, it was so amazing. That school is like so beautiful down there now. It's like, I wish I was at Step now.
All right. We're always happy
If I have to go back, to be honest, I don't think I've give back to Step in the ways that I wanted to. But I think once this whole coronavirus is over, I have to go back and give some motivational speech. Even most times I've been come to Kingston, I think I do a very bad job, even if I'm there, to go and look for them and say something, which is bad. So I think I need to be very more involved.
Well, I help you out. Don't feel too bad. I mean,
I feel
yeah,
bad. I feel
yeah.
bad.
Look, we
I feel
know that
bad.
we know how the stage of life is. Sometimes,
Yeah.
you know, you you know, the ultimate goal is once you always remember the school because it's so many of us pass through the institution, and we know that everybody gonna have a season where they might able to contribute something, so just the fact that it's in your heart, we know that it's just a matter of time, before
Yeah.
that opportunity to come when that day comes. So no worries about that, for you. Let's also talk about your. I wanted to talk about your. I know you are self motivated, but I'm still trying to figure out where you draw your inspiration from. I know your friends send you a text, but tell us a little bit about your playlist. I know that what type of music do you listen, or what gets you. How you motivate yourself in terms of listening to music before competition? Can you give us two or three of the songs that might get you going or get you adrenaline flowing?
Yeah, it depends on what type of music I listen to. It all depends on the type of vibes. Something you wake up, you're in a low vibe and want something to kick you up. Say, listen to some soca, some dancehall. I just want to have some calm, relaxing music or some soul, some gospel. It all depends on what side of the bed I wake up on that morning of competition.
All right. Well, look, that's a very good answer. Just the variety, don't have any specific song or
No.
that listen to. So that's always good. I know that certain people listen to certain songs when they're warming up, like for a routine. So I was just throwing that out there to see if there was, you was a,
No specific song, just like it all depends on the beat, whatever beat I want to listen. If I want to listen to some soul, can just feel like moving and dancing and having fun. Then if I want to listen to some dance or song and just have a vibe, then that's what I
all
listen
right,
to.
awesome, awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So in terms of any lucky charm, I know I have a little superstitious when I was running into certain spikes that I like to wear. I would go out of my way to order some spikes, even when Nike stopped making them, because that's the spikes that I like. Some people like special socks. Do you have any superstitious thing that you do that that help you to run better? And it's ear style. I mean, some people like the ear style. They like the pull back. They like the braids.
And
Anything.
my hair is always in a pullback in a ponytail at the back. For my spikes, it's always the Nike Zoom Fly. The Nike Zoom Fly JA. Those are comfortable. It fits my feet well because my foot is like kind of long and skinny, and my toes didn't move inside that spike, so Yeah, it wasn't big on my foot. It was just perfect. So I like the Nike Zoom Fly JA. Yeah.
Okay. No, nothing superstitious. No notes in your bag or any special socks or nothing.
Nope, whatever I grab.
All right. Well,
Whatever I grab. And I always have a Snicker bar. That's it. Whenever I feel like I
okay.
need some energy, always have a Snicker bar.
All right. All right. All right. So doing good. Well, I'm going to ask you one more thing about the Shericka Drive. A lot of people might not know, but we just want to say that now that just from a community that you grew up in, you was honored, and it was definitely must have been a privilege that all your family members back in your community, just the appreciation for you're probably the only Olympian that ever going to come from Whitehall. you know
No, I wouldn't say that. My sister, she's doing throws now. She's in the university, so hopefully she can follow in my footsteps. So hopefully Shireen just be good,
all right.
and then she'll become Olympian just like your sister.
All right, all right. So that's something that you just let out the bag because you actually had. Did your sister? What high school did your sister go to?
She went to Steths. She won gold medal. Like I
Okay.
didn't even win gold medal. She won gold medal in the throws and Steths. I didn't even win a gold medal. So she's better than me already.
Oh man. So look, we're so happy that another Williams have actually gone to Stetson and outshine you.
I know.
Uh,
Definitely
so
outshine
all
me.
right. Well, we want to give a shout out to your sister, and we want to congratulate her. I know that you have inspired her in so many ways. So I know you probably be a role model right now. But tell us a little bit about the Shericka Drive. It's not the highway, but tell us about that exactly where someone could find that historically drive that is named after you, and what does that mean to you? How does that make you feel? And how did the idea come along? If you know, who was the person behind you getting that road name after you?
I think it was after the Olympics. Everyone who won an individual medal, they got a road name after them. So like Melaine, Shelley, Sharon, and a few of us who won individual medal got a name road after them. So it was a very who was the minister at that time? What that was Babsy? Babsy, I think it
Oh,
was.
so it was something done by the
Yes, it
government,
was
or
government. Yes, this was something done by
okay,
the
okay,
government. Yes, it was the
okay,
government initiative. Yeah, was
okay,
done by the
okay.
government. It was very good. I was very happy. They had a little ceremony. Family, friends, community, everybody come by, say hi, send autograph, take pictures, and yeah. And the MP was there too. But JC Hutchinson, that's my MP. Is he still in power?
All right, all right, all right.
Yeah, so yeah, it
Uh,
was a
All right.
government affair.
Okay. All right. Well, guys, if you ever passing through middle quarters going up to Whitehall, you could stop and take a photo. This is look. We know that this is to me. This is like a statue. We know that we're in the countryside. So we know how it is when you're from the country.
Yep, it's country.
So we're not going to get a statue made of us in the country. But to say anything, we're not saying anything is wrong about the outer statues. But you're our hero. And one of the many athletes from St. Elizabeth, that have successfully make the whole parish proud. A lot of kids watch you on TV, and you're still inspiring other kids right now. So we just want to say that we congratulate you for everything you have done. But just other than that, you winning a medal for Jamaica in 2 Olympics. Was there any special thing that was done for you as a standout, just for the appreciation that we probably don't know about? Was it thing you would like to share? Did you feel appreciated for winning 2 medals in 2 Olympics from Jamaica?
I think winning the Prime Minister Youth Award, that was very a great accomplishment to be recognized by the Prime Minister of Jamaica. And he's elected as one of the very few outstanding youth. Yes, I think winning the Prime Minister Youth Award.
All right, awesome. Thank you for the answer. All right, so over to you, Ian.
All right, Shericka, thank you for sharing there. A lot of information. All right, so what I want to know from you, Shericka, is during your time as a professional athlete, is there a particular lesson that you have learned, as an athlete that stand out?
You you learn every day. So many lessons you learn. Ooh, nobody's your friend. That's for sure. Everybody's your competitor. No matter how they talk and laugh on the track, you're competitors. On the track, you're friends. But yeah, a lot of lessons to be learned as an athlete. To be honest, professionally. But to be honest, there's a lot of things I didn't know. If I had known a lot of things that I know now, it would be different. But it is what it is. So yeah.
All right, so we
That's
know
why sometimes
sometimes
it's good to ask questions and find out from different people who have been there before you how things work, how things doesn't work, what to expect, what to not expect. So yeah, sometimes it's best to ask questions. Just ask randomly. Just ask. Be have knowledge of what to expect and what not to expect. Because that can be a very daunting lesson. Yeah.
All right. So we know basically in life we have a lot of ups and downs. Life is not no smooth road, no matter what. Sometimes on the field, off the field, we may have different things to deal with. But in your time as an athlete, was there any point at all during that career point that you ever feel like quitting? Like just hey, I'm ready to give this thing up. Too much.
Every day when you train hard, you can't make it home. When you finish your workout, you can't even drive your car to go home and like, what am I doing? Is it normal? Do I have to come back tomorrow? I'm not coming back. Yeah, definitely. It's hard. It's not easy. As I can tell you, it's not easy being an athlete. You have to
Yeah,
train as hard. You have to train. You might do well this year. It's not guaranteed next year.
yeah.
So you have to just stay focused and train hard and just do what you have to do to be great at it. But I mean, sometimes you run one race. You can run a race and you're in the best shape of your life and you come last on the track and like, what just happened? What did I just do? I, I just embarrassed myself on TV. I'm not going back. You go home, you go in the hotel room and you cry. You say, oh God. What you guess what? Next day say, okay, on to the next. That's in the past. On to the next. Yeah.
All right, Shericka. So a question I want to ask you, you know, is that we basically know we're gonna have upcoming athletes who are listening or who will basically watch this program, if not today, tomorrow, or sometime in the near future. Someone who may just think about becoming a professional athlete. Could you just give them an idea of some of the things that you had to give up to become the athlete that you were?
Once I decided to take it a little bit serious, have to give up parties, have to give up drinking, have to go to your bed early to get enough sleep. And yep, there's a lot of things that comes with being a professional. Have to train as hard. Sometimes You have to figure out what area of your body you're weak in. Coach might not see it. You have to figure it out yourself. You have to go home. You might have to do a few extra abs. You might have to do a few extra sit-ups, abs or whatever, push-up, whatever, just to get that little edge over your competitors. So you gotta just figure out yourself and figure out you. Yeah. What makes you different.
All right. So this question, easy question, but say you never win a goal or anything, you never win a medal, but just tell somebody what track can do for your body. Because I just look at athletes, and you know that somebody's athlete just looking at them. So as a professional, could you just tell us what does track do for your body personal?
Let you have a nice physique and a six pack, which I never had. But it's a good running is a very mental state. When I'm running, it's like I'm free. It's like you don't think about nothing else. All your worries in the world just disappear once you're running. So it clears your mind, to be honest. It helps clears your mind. But on your body part, you look good.
Well, that's a fact. I could tell you that. I work in the health and wellness here, and since we're here, I would just say to people, we know we are going through a pandemic, and this COVID is nothing to play with. But I
Yeah,
tell you, I realize the people who exercise, work out, eat right,
yeah.
sleep right, you know, they seems to be doing much better
Much
than
better. Yeah.
yeah, than the people who party, who is out there drinking, smoking. So I would say, even for the health, just
Health, yes,
being
of course.
healthy,
Being healthy, yeah, definitely.
it does a lot for your body personally. Just
Exercise,
get up.
exercise on a whole, not even running, but exercise on a whole, is very good for you. It's very healthy. It's like your mind is healthy, your body is healthier, your just even your heart rate gets healthier. If I'm not moving, it's a different heart rate when you're moving, like literally. Yeah.
Yep. So exercise, guys, is a good thing. I just wanted to share that. So even if you're not gonna go out there and win any medal, go out there and put in a little work. Goes a far way. All right. Now we're gonna talk about track and field as a whole. So given that you have done it all, you have made it twice to the Olympics, at least I'm sure of, you know, and with everything that you have accomplished as an athlete, with the whole rules and regulation governing athletics, is there anything that you see, if you have the opportunity to change anything about it, what would that be? Or is there anything specific that would better probably for the athlete themselves?
I think the mystery tests. It's so easy to miss a test, like literally so easy. You can walk out the door and you walk out there. There's someone knocking at your door. I know they give you a certain period of time, but Satya forgets, like literally forgets to perform. So I think they can have some leadway in the 3 mistakes being a 2 year suspension. At least bend it a little. Not all cases are the same, so you have to maybe go through them and see. But I mean, yeah, it's so easy. It's a test, like literally easy.
All right. And on that note, since you're there, is there anything that you would have put in place to basically better athletics on a whole?
Um, Back in my days, we had more opportunities, more races, because you could run at least up to 50, 60 races. Now it's like, what you have like 10 Diamond League, and that, that's basically it. So it's kind of, ooh, there's nothing to it. So they need to bring back the glory days to track and field, to be honest. It's kind of dying, I should say. Yeah.
All right. Thank you for the insight. Ian, back to you there.
This is my last couple question, and we're gonna let you go. So as usual, just wanna see now that we know, you share with us your some of your past, and we know that you're retired. And but how is retirement going so far?
Going great. I'm loving it. No more waking up and going to training. But like, you're not going to run. I'm like, no, I haven't run in like so
All right,
long.
all right, all right. Well, we're happy that you're enjoying. Are you keeping up with athletics these days, or are you pretty much kind of, not following it too closely?
I do follow, to be honest. I follow a lot. I still have
Okay,
people who I know closely who still compete, so I do follow. Yes.
all right. So we're in the future that we'll see you at one of the championship, or you know visiting, exploring, watch a track meet overseas or somewhere.
Definitely it was in the plan, maybe to go Tokyo, but unfortunately that's not gonna happen again. I might see if I can go for a championship in Oregon next year. If they're allowing any spectator. It all depends on
All right,
how things go. We'll watch just wait and see for now.
all right. And I know we asked you a similar question, but we just want to get it. A message for the young athletes. Always want to make sure a young athlete, especially in high school, any message that you'd like to share based on your experience and your journey. If it's one thing that you love an athlete to know about, their career, what would you like to share with them?
My career.
Well, about their career, not
Their
necessarily yours.
career. Oh,
Yeah.
just follow your dreams. Follow your coach's instruction. Do what they know what best, and whatever your goal is, just aim for it, and it will work out no matter what. And track and field is not guaranteed, so just gotta do what you have to do to be successful. That's it.
All right. And I got to ask you one more question about the Olympics. I know that a lot of us take the Olympics for granted, and I know that you could have easily, the Olympic is just 1 year, so we know that track and field is many years, but just the Olympic experience itself, being in the village, just being with all the athletes, what something that stood out to you most, or someone that you might meet, off
Uh,
the track?
on the track, the person I met at the Olympics, my favorite footballer was Ronaldinho, and
Okay.
every day I see him at the Olympic Village, I'll take a picture. I just say, "Can I have a picture, please?" And what
Okay.
stood out to me the most, that opening ceremony, those opening ceremony at the Olympics. Beijing one was breathtaking. Once you walk in the Olympic in that opening ceremony and you make that lap around that track, the atmosphere was so different. It was like, okay, this is it. It's about to start. Yeah, and the village life was good. I enjoyed the village. You meet a lot of interesting people, a lot of superstar. Walk in the Olympic Village, you see meet and greet a lot of people. Food was okay. Yeah, but the village, although you don't get to enjoy it as much as you would like because of you have to be so focused on the race, but it was okay. I enjoy it. I enjoy village life.
All right, that's awesome. As I said, it's always good to hear from Olympian, two-time Olympian, who actually been to two Olympics and walk away with medals in both Olympics. So you didn't go there to help out like me, you know. You didn't go there. You come home with some hardware. I'm coming home with tears.
Yeah, came
But
home with hardware. The good thing about my event, you have a relay, so even if you don't make it in the individual part, you have a shot at it at the in the relay. So that's the good thing about running the any event that
yeah,
have a relay, the 100 and the 400. So yeah.
Well, I'm
which is
pretty
good.
sure that's why those events are very tough, the 100 and the 400, because
But
more.
it's not that tough to me. I don't, even if you don't make the divorce part, there's three more spots there. You can still make
Yeah,
a relay
yeah,
team. So it's a little bit easier
yeah,
than the
yeah.
hurdles. You only have three spots. So,
Yeah, 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 yeah. And it's a little bit easier now because they have the co-ed relay. What's your thoughts on the co-ed relay? It's something that you think is fun on that new relay that they're doing now.
I think it's fun. I enjoy watching it. I think it all has to do with how you set up your team and how much space you want to give each person. So I would definitely run out one of those relays though. Definitely.
All right. All right. So this is my final question here. And you know, I want you to think about it. Um, but I know that you know, you I want you to give me an answer, a good answer, but I know you know yourself, so I can't do it for you, but I
I don't
want
know
you to tell
myself.
me, yeah, you know yourself. I want you to tell me as a young athlete all the way from Whitehall to Steths to UTEC to winning 2 Olympic medals to retiring, enjoying retirement, and all that you have accomplished, how you want to be remembered. um, you know, what, and think about it big. That winning medals, just being disciplined, being a young girl that come from a small community that went on to win an Olympic medal. For young athletes or a young person or anybody to watching, how you'd want them to remember you. And you could feel free to say just winning the medals.
Winning
But
the
I need
Olympic.
I need a little bit more than that. I need a little bit more than that.
Ah, as somebody said to me the other day, you were the smallest person on the track. Why were you the smallest person and win so many? I'm like, don't have nothing to do with the body or the height or the just gotta do what you gotta do. Size doesn't matter. But to be remembered, hmm, interesting question. I never think about that. I don't know.
Well, you said a very good point just now about small in stature. Just remember that you could have a big heart. You know,
Big
um,
heart.
you know,
Yeah,
you
big
know.
heart. Determined. Determined. Very determined. Very big heart. And went out there to win Olympic medals. Forget that. 2-1. Damn. Yeah, I don't know.
All right, all right, all right, all right. Well, I,
I don't know what
I,
to
I.
say myself.
Okay, all right. Well, I take that. I mean, that to me, you are a perfect example for someone that actually who would inspire someone to know that look, it doesn't matter where you're from, no dream is too big.
Yes, no
you know,
matter where you're from.
yeah,
Hmm.
and all you got to do is just you got to believe in yourself and just enjoy the journey because we don't see the journey. I'm sure you didn't see it at the time where all this would have ended up. You see Merlin Otti, you seeing all these people on TV. They actually was at the same position as you. It's they actually. I mean, they might accomplish a lot more earlier, but we already know that. Look, there was Merlin Otti went to Rusty's. She transferred to Veer to get a
Yeah,
scholarship. You know, um, you know. So we're proud of you and the fact that you have actually done everything that you have achieved local in Jamaica. You
yeah, that's
probably
true.
also one of the few, we know that Asaf and both, but we got to also talk about, and we know that always Shelly and Elaine, because they have achieved so much. So we don't want you to think that for me, you actually, have achieved just as much in terms of, you have won medals. It's not because it's not gold, but you have won 2 silver medal in two Olympics, and we already know that the 100 meters is the
Prime time.
glamour in track.
The
So
prime time event.
all right, so just know that you actually right there with them, and in any other era, if there was no Shelley or there no Elaine, you would have been one of those athletes that win two medals, and it's still a distinguished,
Distinguished.
accomplishment,
Yes.
to win medals in two Olympics, and we're not even talking about the World Championship medals, so the list goes on. So we want to say, look, it was a honor and a joy for you to represent Steths. And we're so proud you continue to inspire young athletes at Steths and around the world. I am want to just say that since I leave Steths, watching you run was one of the most proudest moments for me, watching the athletes from my alma mater running and winning a medal in the Olympics. And I brag about you more than you ever know. So
Thank you.
congratulations. Continue to be an ambassador and a role model for our noble institution, St. Elizabeth Technical. And just continue to enjoy the journey. And I'm sure that we will if we do something at Stets, eventually one day we'll continue to help out our high school, because deep down we all know where we came from. So again, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, and thank you for spending the time with us. So I'm gonna send it over to Ian for him to have the last words. But for
You're
me,
welcome.
that's it.
It
All
was a
right,
pleasure, my pleasure, always.
all right.
All right, Shericka. So as Ian is saying, the state 60th is coming up. Say we could rewind the hands of time. And now going back to states, say even the Olympics, they say, hey, we're gonna allow you to run one race that you would like to just rerun that one race.
Against you.
What race?
Against you.
Yeah.
Which race would that be before your home crowd?
Let me think about that one. None.
You got
You
we
you
gotta
don't
you
have to
gotta
see
start
somebody.
training.
Don't tell me that you don't have somebody. You say, man, if I catch you again in that race, you're done.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll trade for the 200 and beat
Yep.
you, Ian.
Yep. We're gonna have to line up about this one. Just let me know in advance.
No, Ian,
Look, Mr.
track
Wellington
Ian,
is
track Ian. You're on every single week, so you're in good shape.
yeah. Yeah, I'm trying. So yeah. So I I didn't know that you see me running. I thought that I was hiding.
You post everything.
All right, Shericka, really and truly, we just want to say it was a pleasure here at Ian and Ian Real Talk, just having you spending basically 2 hours of your time with us, taking that time out. We just want to say, we really appreciate it. We also just want to say how much, we are proud of you, what you have done, your accomplishment over the years. As you say, small in tattoo, but big from the
Big
heart,
in heart.
Yep. So we're gonna at least take that part, just believe in yourself, basically, and just put the work in, because we realize
No
that
way.
you put the work in and everything. So that tells us something about you as a person on a whole. We know this interview could have gone for hours, because the person you are, the public image, as you can see, our guests, they were well entertained. They participate full out. So I know you're well loved, you're well appreciated,
Thank
and
you
we just
all
want
for
to.
tuning in. Thank you all for having me. It was my pleasure, to be honest. I enjoyed it.
All right. All right.
All
You know,
right. So thank
we
you.
got I got to close out with this with her personal best race in Berlin, the 400 meters. So I'm gonna show it. It's not gonna have any audio, so if you want to say something, feel free
I can't
while
see it
it's
though.
streaming.
Everything I can't
So
see.
Well, it's coming up now. I'm about to show it now.
I'm not seeing nothing on there.
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming.
What thing was that? Mm, mm. Oh my God. That Russian girl though, shoots Kapiska. That Russian girl, she run me so hard in the semifinals. And I had to win my semifinals. I did not run my third 200 on that race. My third 100. Damn, I was closing like a lion. I did not run the turn on that race. Mm. Mm. My PB race.
Another few meters and you'd have had her.
I know. I did not run my turn. Always makes mistake in my race. Not me.
Well, that was your personal best there, 49.32. We know that there always room for improvement. As we said before, we believe that you was capable of running sub 49.
I
You know,
believe so
so
too.
you know, but we're still proud of you because you still was able to come home with some hardware, and
Definitely.
that's always the goal when you go into a championship is to
Championship,
bring home
yes.
a medal. So
That's what
again,
counts.
big. All right. So big congratulations and thank you again. And
Thank you.
be safe. And when this COVID is finished, yep, we're gonna check out the Noble Institution down in Santa Cruz there. And big
Definitely,
up.
I need to.
All right. And big up to all the Whitehall, crew. Big shout out to your sister, your mom. We didn't talk about your mom, but we're gonna have to say that another time. I know, and your grandmother. Everybody did a great job. So thanks again.
Okay. Thank
All right. Cheers.
you.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye.
Peace out.